Welcome to the Northern Knits podcast for your two friends in fiber who knit, craft, crochet, and talk everything in between. My name is Jocelyn, and my co-host is
Diana.
It is fall in some parts of the world, not in my part of the world, but in some parts of the world, it's fall.
Oh, it's very much fall here. We're solidly fall. I didn't even look at what the high was today, but it's definitely a sweater to sit outside with my coffee in the morning.
I'm gonna drink my marzipan tea, and I'm gonna
Ooh,
pretend it's fall till we're done recording here this morning when I have to take my lightweight summer cardigan off. High of 23 today. High of 28 yesterday. With
gross. I don't even know.
Humidex. With Humidex.
We're sitting at 20 right now, and I don't think we're getting much warmer.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I made some fancy tea today because we're out of coffee.
Okay.
Sad. So I made some Aztec spice pu'er, and I
Mm-hmm.
sweetened it with some smoked maple syrup that I
Nice.
forgot that I had, which was a delightful find when I cleaned up my fridge yesterday.
You
It's so
combo.
good.
I
It's
want to get
like
some
spicy chai tea with
chai.
smoky maple syrup.
I need a good chai latte tea bag so I can make chai lattes. So I need a good chai tea bag. Does that make sense?
It does. You need a good, strong, spicy.
Good, strong, spicy chai tea so that I can
This one's
add
not a tea
milk to
bag, but I
it.
would recommend it for a chai tea latte.
Because I think
The
I need
spices,
milk.
the spices are a little bit different, but it's chai.
Episode 391. Let's do a thing, shall we? As always,
Do the thing.
we're doing the thing. We would love if you're welcome. If you're new, it doesn't get any more coherent than this. This is as good as it gets.
Peak coherency right here.
Yeah, we're both relative. Well, I'm not caffeinated, but we're both up and functioning, and it's in the AM hours, so it's just
I'm
as
not
good as it
coffee
gets.
caffeinated and I'm sad about it.
Well, you are an adult and you know how to watch your caffeine bag, so you know when it's low and you know when you need to go get more.
But the coffee subscription just shows up and
Hmm.
it hasn't showed up yet. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I know. This is a very
Uh-huh.
extremely first world problem.
Uh-huh.
Barely a
Because you
problem.
get okay.
I'm still gonna be sad about it.
Alrighty. Like I said, we've got grumps, and it's fine. I'm sure my cat could grump with you.
Oh,
She had to have
absolutely.
astronaut food for breakfast this morning. What we wanted was the wet stuff, but Mom said no, we had to have the dry kibble first. Mean
How
mommy.
dare you?
How
Dry
dare I?
kibble first.
As always, if you guys are able to hit the like button or subscribe if you're not subscribed, we super appreciate it. It helps other people find us and what we do. We have moved the admin stuff to the front, so I'm going to very quickly run through the things that are happening and ongoing, and then we'll get to the good stuff. We just had our last Saturday of the month, so we just did whip sprints, which is, as always, a blast. I'm still super excited we shortened that to 3 sprints. It's much easier on my poor wrists. I am technically on the road when you guys see this, as it will be the 2nd of October, and I will be on the way to Saskatoon to get ready for the Silver Willow knitting community event. So that'll be happening on the 5th of October. Because time is what it is. I have to edit and get this to Diana before I leave. Because
Whee!
she's in charge.
Oh no, you're leaving me in charge.
Good news
Oh no.
is our next episode is the live, which Diana tends to just technically do all the technical work for anyway. So I will be coming to you from my dad's office, aka what becomes my bedroom. I'm in Saskatoon, and we will do a live on Sunday. So I might have some goodies to show since I will have been
Ooh.
out at a yarn thing. As
Nice,
you do,
nice.
as you do. We have the fall equinox along ongoing. Started right here on the 22nd. Diana got her summer solstice finished. Jocelyn certainly did not. And now we're working on fall things. Technically, my fall thing is a t-shirt sweater situation. Like it's a fingering weight pullover. It's the Witchling. Guys, it's the Witchling by Tristan of Dragonhoard Designs. Diana, it was the malt,
The single malt, yeah.
single malt. So those are
Uh,
ongoing projects. I have not cast it on because I am getting
that
ready to leave to be in a car. So I have some other things that I need to get car knitting ready before I go. So I will absolutely be
don't
casting
know
that
where
on
I
when I
put
come
it.
home.
Do you know where I put my yarn?
Over there in the corner?
Which corner?
Why would you please don't
Oh
put it
no!
away? You should have left it out so you'd wind it.
I thought I did,
Okay, you need some
along
coffee.
with everything else. So
You
when
need
everything's out,
coffee.
is anything out?
No. If anybody sees my
Oh, I'm
background right
gonna have
now, the
to.
answer to that question is no. Looks like a horde of toddlers slept over in here last night. What else do we have going on? Do we have the librarian with a little long, which ends on the end of this coming year? That is a secret craft off item for Diana for this month, which we'll get
Mhm.
to see the progress of shortly since we do progress updates on lives. So really the only other thing
Mhm.
is don't forget to vote for next month's craft off this coming weekend on the Instagrams and on YouTube. That's the thing. As always, don't forget we have Patreon stuff, which Diana will absolutely go over in ad hoc detail at the end. And
And my snips.
we are, oh jeez. I'm trying to be professional here.
I'm sorry. I got excited. Is my snail in here too?
Oh my
No,
God.
of course it's not.
Your snail still missing?
My snail's still missing. I'm so certain.
You poor
Well, actually, I'm
snail.
not so certain it hasn't left the house. Maybe it did leave the house when I traveled and maybe it fell out of my bag. I don't know.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I'll
Spooky
find it one day,
news.
maybe.
Sure, possibly. Guys, I was saying we're running a Patreon giveaway drive. So when we get to, I don't even remember how many patrons. I wrote it down somewhere. We're gonna
I'm
do a
glad you did
draw.
because I don't remember.
We absolutely did. I don't remember the number off the top of my head, which I'm a great podcaster. When we get to number of Patreon, if I've remembered, there'll be some text at the bottom of the screen. If I bothered to go find the note, editing Jocelyn might be panicking right now trying to find the note. I wrote it down somewhere, but we have so many documents on the go right now. I think it was like 50 or 100?
Something like that. Maybe it was
One
100.
of
One of those
one of those two
numbers.
numbers is correct. What we're doing is a prize draw for Patreon members when we get that high. We've got 3 handmade items. We've got a charcuterie board, we've got a serving tray, and we have a knife for lettuce cutting. They're handmade by Dad. That's my dad. We can absolutely say verification the charcuterie board and serving trays are amazing, and I'm going to go cut lettuce with my mom's wooden knife. So I'm very excited. All Patreon members will count for the draw. The only thing is we don't get to do the draw until we get to 50 members. And I'm gonna say 50. I could be wrong, but I think it's 50. Give me enough time and I might remember a detail. There's so much math in my
Editing
head right
Jocelyn,
now.
save us.
Oh my God, editing Jocelyn, come to the rescue. All right, that's it. That's the boring admin stuff. Now we can talk about knitting goodness.
Okay, let's do the stuff.
I think I have more than you, don't
You do. I
I?
have
Oh
two.
my God. Okay.
Yeah. It
Well then,
was not a good knitting mojo week.
I did rows on the blanket. It's just as boring as you think it is. It is 2 rows alternating from a tweed beige from Burnett Premium and 2 rows of blue, purple, or gray. All on acrylic worsted weight number 4. It is using scraps. It is the 100-day countdown to Halloween blanket I'm working on. It lives in bed because it is that big at this point, and I just do 2 rows before I go to sleep. I'm not bringing it anymore, guys. It looks like a giant blanket. I'll bring it in when it's finished to do the final reveal. That's it. I'm not carting that thing around any more than necessary, and Phaedra pulls it into a bed nest situation in the evenings.
Already pre-approved.
Oh yeah, super pre-approved. She loves handmade blankets. She likes sleeping on them. So that's a thing. But it's such a slow putter project. It's just because it's just 2 rows and then you're done. So you get that sense of accomplishment because you did your 2 rows. So like I finished a thing on my to-do list. But also it's a blanket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's that. I should probably go again. While we're recording today, I'm going to be working on my Tolsta Tank. On my Tolsta Tank. My ball of yarn lives in my skull bowl. Skull.
Do love that skull bowl. I'm very excited for my Yip Yip bowl.
I can't wait for you to get your Yip Yip bowl. It'd be so
Still like a
good.
month
I am
away.
highly tempted to get a second skull bowl. So tempted. Then he won't be alone. He'll have a buddy.
It's very
I don't want
important.
my yarn bowls to not be like, okay, in theory, when I unwind whatever it is that's going on here, I'm going to work on this Tolsta tank. Oh my word.
What have
Oh,
you
it's because I'm
done?
half, okay, cool. I am slowly making progress up the body. I'm gonna do it this way. It is the tank, the Tolsta tank is bottom up. I know the Tolsta T is top down, but the tank is bottom up. I am marking roughly every 2 inches with a stitch marker so I can keep track of my progress. I was somewhere in here. I'm just over, so I've got what 2, 4. I'm working my way towards 6 inches now. 2 inches, 4 inches. Yes, I'm making my way towards 6 inches of body.
Same.
Note for the point, I need 18 to 20 inches of body before I split for the shoulders. So settle in, we're gonna be a while.
It's gonna be a hot minute.
Gonna be a hot minute. I am kind of tempted to take this in with me in the car, but I need to be careful how much stuff I pack in the car, right? I am making my Tolsta tank out of some very pretty sparkly based yarn from Marin & Fireweed Fiber Co. Her sparkle base is discontinued, but you can get this colorway, which is 29 for her 29th birthday, which is a beautiful gray purple with some speckly flecks in there. So good. So
Camera
good.
does not adequately capture the sparkle. It's very pretty.
No camera adequately captures a Stellina sparkle. I've just found over the years it's just not feasible. So that is what I'm working on while we record today. And those are my first 2 projects. So
I suppose I should do a thing.
I'm gonna take a break and do some knitting.
Okay. I can it barely counts because I was binding it off last week, but it's actually done and fully off the needles.
It
The
counts.
slub cowl that absolutely grabbed me for an entire week. 0 to done in 8 days.
Lovely.
It's so fuzzy. It's gray with, well, it's yarn held doubles, so they're both yarns are gray, but the slub yarn has like dark, I want to say blue, but they might be black, and then like a caramelly brown kind of thing,
Okay.
little speckles. And then the fuzzy is a Surrey alpaca and silk. So it has a mohair halo effect, but it's so soft. It's just incredibly, incredibly soft. It's a free pattern on the Leo and Roxy website. You just cast on a bunch of stitches and knit a big tube, and then you bind off.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the whole thing.
You made a
It's a
huge
stockinette
tube.
tube. I did, yeah.
It's a huge tube.
It is indeed a huge tube, but just like, look at this thing. Just never mind the ends. Ignore the ends. But it's so pretty.
Oh,
Look
that's
at
gonna look so
it's
nice
so
on your
pretty.
coats.
It's gonna shed all over my wool coat.
Yes, it is.
It's
Well,
going to shed
you need to give it
hardcore.
a washing. You need to give it a
Yeah,
washing. I don't think you need to block your tube, but I think it needs a bath.
it definitely does.
Yeah.
It smells so sheepy in the best way, in a
The
good
best
way,
way.
good sheepy way. It's probably going to be quite stinky when I wash it. Wet sheep is not a good smell. Sheepy wool, good smell.
Yes. Wet sheep
But it's so
smell?
pretty.
Not
Wet
so
sheep
much.
smell, not so much. Not so
Not so
much.
much. Suppose it's back to me.
It is indeed.
Let's talk about the yarn. I would like a fresh bowl. This is a very light blue. It is a very gorgeous muted blue. It's got some wonderful specklies in it because it's an Aran of Fireweed Fiber Co yarn. So of course it's got specklies in it. I don't even know where to put this yarn ball. Right there. Stay. We'll see if that works. And I have been trying for the last, little bit. I don't even want to discuss how long to make the field sweater work. I had to give up. Not because the field sweater isn't a gorgeous pattern, because it is a gorgeous pattern. This is the wrong color yarn. There's not enough contrast between the needles and the yarn for me. So while I can see
Mm.
the stitches when I was doing the complicated, and it's not even complicated, when I was doing the moderately, perhaps could be considered slightly tricky grain stitch, I would drop a stitch very consistently because I just couldn't quite make out two stitches and I would treat it as a singular stitch instead of two stitches, right? So like it was a human error. I got permission to give up, which is good because I gave up long after Erin said she would have. This is Erin's non-super wash merino, and it is freaking gorgeous. I like this yarn so much. It is absolutely wonderful to rip. It is wonderful to knit in. It holds up great, and it is so smooshy. So smooshy. So smooshy.
Excellent.
So we were talking about other patterns that I could make, and I was like, you know what I could do that doesn't require a ton of looking because I've done the pattern before. It makes a great pattern, and I did it in a fairly light shade of blue. So I know I can do the lace chart and not have a problem because they're not three stitches out of one into one. It's not, if they're yarn overs or double yarn overs, it's a lot easier to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
The Mallow cardigan.
Oh,
Erin
okay,
replied
yeah.
with, she loves my Mallow cardigan and she would love one in her yarn. So here's the bottom panel of a Mallow cardigan. I don't even have to add extra length. It's for Erin as a sample. I just get to make the pattern as is. So
Nice.
nice. So it's a bottom up panel. I need to make 10 inches at the, it's a free pattern from Barocco yarns called Mallow, or if you want to do the pullover, it's called Marsh. Do you remember way back when they had a cal? It was called the Marshmallow cal.
Oh, geez.
You tell dad jokes. I'm not taking any grief from you, lady. So I need to knit 10 inches, and I've knit my first four. Then I get to do a beautiful big all over back lace shirt, and then a couple of quick front panels, and we're pretty much done. So good.
Nice.
So good. Now I do attach a neckline and I do a garter border at the bottom because I don't like rolling things that
Mm-hmm.
much. So like those are things that I've added. But unshockingly, yes, when I'm no longer making three into one or one into three or cabling three over the front or the back or they're freaking gorgeous grain stitches and I want a field sweater so bad. I need to make sure I pick a strongly contrasted yarn as compared to the needles I'll be using so that I have a hope this set of last Tuesday of seeing those stitches so I can get that yoke done. However, until then, we have a very pretty blue Mallow cardigan on the go. Just look at how
Very
subtle
pretty.
that color variation is. So good.
I love
Oh,
that.
and the stitch definition's beautiful. So I am much happier and far less stressed, and I can get working on this sample now. This may honestly go with me not to be car knitting, but to be work on while I'm at mom's house knitting, because I've done the chart before.
Mm.
Remember, it's the chart where my dad printed it on plotter paper, and it's like
Oh, yeah,
architectural
so you've got
design
like,
paper, like that massive chart I had years ago, where like the
yeah.
chart consume. Yeah, yeah, that's the cardigan. I think I
Yeah, I
still have
think
the
that's maybe not car knitting.
No, no. Stockinette's not like stockinette flat is not car knitting for me because I do have to glance down every once in a while when I'm purl knitting, and I cannot in car. I get quite motion sick, so I can't do that.
Ah,
However, I can do stockinette in the round. So
and just roundy, roundy, roundy.
socks, bodies, sweaters, things that of that nature. So that's going on. So, but sitting on my mom's couch, chilling in the evening, I could do some lace charts.
Absolutely. Yes, do the thing. As we record, I am also working on my Tolsta tank. Woo!
Hey!
I have done ever so much since the last time you've seen it. I finished my black stripe and I started a pink stripe.
Oh no. You know what? Whatever. It counts. It counts. I know we both
Uh,
need to go read the pattern to see where we need to start waist shaping because like that's the next set of instructions we should probably clarify in our
yeah,
brain.
I feel like I might be getting close, depending on how long I want my Tolsta tank to be. I might be getting close, so I need to also go read the pattern.
Well, I read the pattern, but I don't remember what it said. So
It's, yeah,
obviously I'm
same.
absorbing information. That's the modern day, no,
Grown up
living
living
grown
Barbie
up,
doll.
grown up living Barbie doll, which is the pink, and then the
Yeah, is
black
the
is the
pink.
onyx, right?
Yes, the pink being
Ugh.
from Fireweed Fiber Co. and the black from Ginger Snap.
Ah, lovely, 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 lovely. I love your
Black
tube.
I'd originally got to go with that insanely bright, that like neon rainbow yarn that I
Yes, you
ended up just making a
did.
top out of by itself.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Which incidentally, I'm thinking since I somehow made it like way too large and I've
Hmm.
had to like pinch out like 4 inches out of the back, I'm debating just ripping it apart and making it again because I love the top. I just wish I'd made it better.
Smaller? Yeah. No, I think
Yeah.
that's a very good idea. Reclaim the
So I might
yarn
just,
and remake it.
yeah, so like make the exact same thing,
Yeah.
just make it the right size this time.
No,
Because
I think
I've
that's a good
had to
idea.
do all kind of kijiggery in the back to actually make it stay up because it's just a bandeau, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've
No,
done.
no,
The
no.
back is not pretty anymore.
Pull that back and remake it.
Yeah. But anyway, this is turning out great. That's unrelated to the Tolsta tank. The Tolsta tank is great.
I'm loving those retro early 2000 vibes. So exciting.
Yeah.
So good. All right.
Very, very Y2K. I still
Oh
have
my
the
God.
Converse from that I would have been wearing at that point. I found them.
Murphy woman.
I kept those ones specifically because I got them when I came here to the University of Waterloo when I was 15 to do a summer camp.
Okay.
Um, so they're like my computer science deciding what I wanted to do with my life shoes. So they just like representative of a significant moment in my life. So I kept them for that sentimental reason, but I still have them and they still fit and they're still technically wearable. So I might just like wear them to death at this point and then finally get rid of them.
I think that's probably a good idea. I
Probably.
have a giant dice bag. It's very large.
It is indeed very large.
I made this ages ago. I say ages ago because it's like several months plus ago, but it's empty on the inside. She needs some dividers. She's got a ball of red yarn in there and a 5 millimeter hook at the moment. I've started the process of making the divider section.
Woo.
So I need one long, and then I need to make two more that are exactly one row shorter than this one. So when you fold them, they sit in the bag properly. So I will sew them together at the midway point. So I'll have one straight line and I'll have two that curve out. So you get your dice carrier spaces. I will then have to sew the divider into the bag. It's a bit of a process, but that's okay. Bear with me. The bag and the divider is made with two strands of worsted weight yarn held double on a 5 millimeter hook. So she is a tight weave.
Yeah.
Which you
Yeah.
want because you don't want things falling out of it. So I'm very excited to get this done. This is for two of our D&D members at the D&D group I play with, as they are both teenage girls and want larger dice bags. And I said I got you covered. So I've got to make two more red stripes, pretty much like this red stripe, to go in that marled dice bag, and I need to make one more marled stripe to go in the red dice bag, so that the sisters have different bags. But they're not so different that we're arguing over it. So we're
Mm-hmm.
just different enough that we can pick the one we want, but not so different that it's going to be an issue. I hope. God, I hope. Always the debate. So it is slow and steady progress. I can do like 5 rows and then I got to put it down for a little bit because it is so hard on my hands. It is so hard on my hands. I do enjoy making them, so I do not mind doing dice bags for the girls. So that is something I'm hoping to get done soon because I would really like to have something off of my plate.
Yep.
Before
Yep. I can see that.
October and the craziness of October, October is absolutely whoa. It's just whoa, guys. Okay, that was my last
Yeah.
project. Toast Tech was your last project. Oh, that means we just have a Patreon ad, and then we're done.
And then we're done. Okay.
Woohoo!
If you would like to financially support these shenanigans, you can do so at patreon.com/northernitspodcast. Any level of support gets you access to our patron-only Discord server, where we chatter about all manner of things, and people send me so many dinosaur links, like the Dinosaur Fair Isle knitting cards. I'm very excited about this concept. I really appreciate people sending me all the dinosaur stuff. I don't have to go out onto the internet to find dinosaur stuff anymore. It just comes to me. And this
It just
is
shows
one
up.
of the great things about having a podcast community.
So good.
Dinosaur stuff just shows up.
So good. Uh, I might have to splurge and buy the Halloween pack and send it to you and then go birthday gifts, Christmas gifts. Here you go. Just pick from this pack of cards I can't read.
Just make some
Do
cowls, some
that.
mittens, some whatever.
Yeah, some fun stuff. There's a Halloween doodle one, but I can't read the cards. There's no way I'll be able to read the cards. So there's no point in getting them. But oh, I love it. Patreon is, as always, is a delight. Different tiers get you different things for different dollar amounts. That's how Patreon works. October is the last month under our old pay structure. November the 1st, we go to the new pay structure, which means different perks at different levels. Because when we make changes, we try to balance it out if we can. But we do understand budgets. Oh my God, they're a thing. Here's such a thing. If you can't financially support, like we said earlier, hitting the like button, subscribing, commenting here, and interacting with us on other social media platforms is a great way to say hi and show us what you're working on. Oh, good news is we're done, which is good because Diana thinks her coffee has been delivered. So I'm going to say until next week, I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Diana.
And no matter where your week takes you, don't forget to
Don't
knit.
forget to knit.